We don't meet for meeting's sake. We meet to conciliate disputes. I don't call meetings so that we can drink tea or crack jokes, no. The first time they came, we took their complaints. And they came with the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, who represents the Judges Association, Chief Judges Association, heads of courts in the states. They also came with some members of the Nigerian Bar Association, who are sympathizers and stakeholders. So we had a first meeting, and I agreed we will reconvene. And in reconvening, we used the interval to meet with the Governors Forum. We used the interval to meet with the Judicial Council. We used the interval to meet with the Solicitor General, who represents the Accountant General of the Federation, the part of the executive, and even some members of the Implementation Committee of Executive Order 10 on same issue. So this is not something you jump into meetings. A lot of people are stakeholders in the matter, and the governors are sovereign. They're subnational. They run their own governments. So even when there's a constitutional interpretation on section 121 and 162 and the rest of them all, you have to take into account that the governors will operate that system because they will present the budget to the different houses of assembly. So we took the time to consult with them, and by the time we discovered we have not done enough consultation, because another meeting was also holding in the office of the president, led by the chief of staff, and the president will have to be briefed, because the matters have conjointly become a national affair, and also conjointly developed into a trade dispute, resulting in a strike. And once there is a strike, it falls within the mandate of my ministry, because that is our national mandate by this section of the Constitution, Schedule 3, Item 34. You know, so we had to give them notice that the meeting could not hold last Friday, as envisioned, so that we can use more time and meet. And I've been talking with governors. I was a governor before, so I've been talking with them. And you rub mind with them and advise. And so they have gone yesterday, the three groups, the Governors Forum on one side, the judges, who are heads of courts, the Judicial Union, the Parliamentary Union, and the speakers, Conference of Speakers. So they have reached some agreement at the parley they had with the Chief of Staff. And that was why we reconvened for today. We gave them an appointment for today. We gave them another appointment by last Friday, because we were in the know that by yesterday, the necessary agreements will have been reached. And once necessary agreements have been reached as memorandum of understanding, we bring it, everybody here, and detail them with timelines and time frame. The governors have given an undertaking that that autonomy will be implemented by end of May. We need to do that. There is also an agreement as per when the states will put in place the law, the state fund laws to govern the funds that are accruing, both from the FAC, Federation Account Committee, and from internally generated revenue in each state. So as they have finished them and come for this meeting, but there were some loose ends they did not tie up by yesterday. For example, the definition of the revenue accruing was not fully addressed. Some people know it as, regarded the revenue as gross revenue. That's an allocation. The governors have their own interpretation of the revenue to be net after deductions of loans and other commitments they have, which rightly is true. There are commitments. Even the IGR we are talking about, Section 1627, says that IGR will go into a state local government joint account committee and a prescription of what quantum the state will put in there before sharing of the local governments should be done at that level. So there's a deduction from the IGR to the state governments. So these are the fine details, the technicalities we needed to tie up. So when they presented the agreements, MOU reached yesterday, that one stood out as there was no consensus. And other areas, there were some loose ends. So we took permission. I asked the permanent secretary and the officials responsible to explain to them, to the two unions, that they have to exercise patience, to enable us tidy these areas before meeting with them. Unfortunately, they waited for some time. You also know that this time some of our brothers are fasting, and I think that also helped to compound the issues, and they were not ready to wait anymore. So nobody slighted them. Nobody refused to meet with them. We wanted to meet with them so that the meeting will be fruitful, so that whatever is signed here will be implementable. We don't want to put signatures on paper and the governors will refuse to implement or play games with it. No. So as we were meeting here, we were talking with the governors. We were talking with the head of governors forum. We were talking with the three-man committee that they mandated on the issue. The governor of Plateau, we spoke to him about 3 times on this table. And the DG Governors Forum was also calling and getting the necessary clearance and clarifications. There are certain issues they raise. I'll tell them whether it is doable or not doable, so that they don't go and sign a document that will create more problems than the ones we want to solve. So that is, in a nutshell, what happened today. And we are making contact with them by tomorrow. And this work have not even finished. The government side have to go back. The Solicitor General and Implementation Committee, Secretary NJC, and all of them, they have to go back and tie up the loose ends that I have pointed out to them here. And so by tomorrow, they will get back to me. And by the same tomorrow, we'll get in touch with the union with a view for us to reconvene on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. We want our course open. So we were working around the clock. I'm still in the office now. So we work around the clock to make sure that we get our course open. At least if not anything by the beginning of next week, as we start the week.
Thank you, sir.